You know, right now, you are wearing the most advanced supersuit you could possibly imagine. And no, I'm not talking about some sci-fi movie. In this explainer, we're going to dive into what makes that incredible suit, your skin, so amazing.
Let's just start with a crazy number. 22 square feet. I mean, think about that. If you could lay out an average adult's skin, that's how much space it would cover. It's basically this personal, high-tech blanket that you carry around with you 24/7.
So knowing that, here's a little quiz for you. What do you think is your body's single largest organ? Now, a lot of people might guess the heart, maybe the lungs, or even the brain. But nope, it's none of those.
You guessed it, it's your skin. But here's the thing, it's so much more than just a covering. It's actually the star player of a whole team, a super important system called the Integumentary System.
Okay, so what in the world is the integumentary system? Well, put simply, it's the whole organ system whose job is to protect your body from all sorts of damage. We're talking everything from nasty germs and UV rays to just a simple scrape. It's your body's absolute first line of defense, and it's made up of your skin and a bunch of other cool stuff. So let's meet the key players on this team, shall we? First up, you've got the main event, the skin. We'll get into that in just a second. But you also have your hair, your nails, and these really important glands that make sweat and oil. And the cool part is they all work together in this one, beautifully integrated system.
All right, let's start our tour from the outside and work our way in. We're going to begin with the very first layer, the part you can see and touch. This is called the epidermis. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like your own personal, high-tech, totally waterproof raincoat. Now there's a really important word to know about this layer, avascular. It sounds technical, but all it means is that the epidermis doesn't have any blood vessels. Zero. So even though it's our main protective shield, it has to get all its nutrients from the layer underneath it.
And this explains something we've all experienced, right? The dreaded paper cut. You know how it stings like crazy, but it doesn't really bleed? Well, that's because you've only sliced through the avascular epidermis. The cut was just shallow enough to miss all the blood vessels that are waiting in the next layer down. Kinda cool, right?
So what is this raincoat layer actually made of? Well, it's mostly these tough little cells called keratinocytes. And it's a constant construction project. The brand new cells are made way down at the bottom, and then they get pushed up and up and up, and as they rise, they get flatter and eventually die, forming that tough, protective top layer that you see. This whole cycle is what gives us that amazing waterproof barrier.
Okay, so we've covered the raincoat. Now let's dive one layer deeper. Right underneath the epidermis, we find the dermis. And I love this analogy. If the epidermis is like a quiet shield, the dermis is like a busy, bustling city right under the surface.
See, the dermis is the thick, living part of your skin, and that's the absolute key difference. Unlike the epidermis, this layer is jam-packed with stuff. It's got blood vessels, nerves, and all the little factories that make everything happen. And man, is it a busy city. You've got blood vessels that are like supply trucks, delivering nutrients. You've got this whole web of nerve endings. That's your communication network, letting you feel a gentle breeze or telling you, hey, that's hot. And this is also where all the action is rooted. The hair follicles, the sweat glands, the oil glands, they all live here. This is the real command center. So let's just recap and put them side by side. The biggest difference? Blood supply. The epidermis on top is thin, no blood vessels. Its job is just pure protection. The dermis underneath is thick, full of blood, and it's the living hub for support and feeling things. Totally different jobs, but they work together perfectly. Okay, so we've got the main layers of skin down. Now let's talk about the accessories. The stuff that's actually made by all those little factories deep down in the dermis. And trust me, these things are way more than just for show. They've got real work to do.
Let's take hair and nails, for example. I mean, they seem pretty different, right? But what's wild is they're both made of the exact same tough stuff, a protein called keratin. Hair, it grows out of those follicles in the dermis to give us a little insulation and help us feel things. And nails, they grow out to protect our fingertips and, help us pick things up and grip stuff.
And what about those glands we mentioned? Let's talk about one of their absolute coolest functions. Literally, it's your body's built-in air conditioning. When you start to overheat, the sweat glands down in the dermis get the signal and kick into gear. They push sweat up to the surface of your skin, and then, as that sweat evaporates, it takes heat with it, and poof, you cool down. It's so simple, but it is unbelievably effective.
All right, so we've looked at the layers, we've looked at the accessories. Let's pull the camera back and look at the whole shebang. Because when you put all these pieces together, you realize you don't just have skin. You have that super suit we talked about at the beginning. And this suit has some serious superpowers. Like, first up, protection. It's your barrier against germs, UV rays, and even stops you from losing water. Then there's sensation. It's this huge network of nerves that lets you literally feel the world around you. Temperature control. It's your own automatic thermostat, heating and cooling you down. And here's a big one, production. It's a little factory that makes vitamin D just from sunlight. How amazing is that? That's so important for your bones and your immune system. Just incredible.
And all of that really brings us to this quote, which I think just nails it. It says your skin is not just a covering. It is a dynamic, intelligent interface between you and your world. It's not just a wrapper. It's how you connect with everything.
So really think about that. This incredible system is on the job for you every single second of every single day, and you never even have to think about it. Which, it kind of leaves us with one last really important question. This system protects you, so what will you do to protect it?